President McPhail. For the record, Councilmember Dale, Pringle, Councilmember Porter are not with us. Please join me in saying the invocation. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us together again. We ask that you please lead us and go about doing the people's business. Amen. Please join me in saying the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have no announcement tonight other than to say that it's nice to see everyone here again. Moving down to item 6.1 is a presentation regarding reorganization of the zoning ordinance. We'll hear from Mr. Wayne Short.
Good evening, Mayor Council. Thank you, Mr. Short. There we go. Good evening, Mayor Council. How are y'all? If you recall, back earlier this year, we implemented the NAICS code in the zoning ordinance so that the uses within each district is tied to a NAICS code. And now we're going back through and reorganizing those list of uses so that they are in sequential order based on the NAICS code. And the purpose of doing that is to make it easier to administer. That way we don't have to hunt and through the ordinance to determine whether a use is permitted or not. It'll be in sequential order based on the code number. We're going to take that opportunity to try to regroup some of those uses in the old version of the ordinance. Those uses were grouped in a logical meaning based on those uses, but those don't necessarily match up with the code number. So we're going to regroup uses by the code number, and then we're still making refinements to those lists of uses as well. So I just want to bring that to your attention. The Planning Commission can start considering those amendments at the meeting next week, and then hopefully be able to bring that to you sometime in October or early November for your consideration.
Anyone with any questions or comments?
Wayne, just a question or two. This isn't going to change any of our zone. I mean, this isn't going to have any unintended consequences.
So what we're going to, like I said, we are going to make some further refinements to the uses themselves. So hopefully we're trying to avoid any unintended consequences by doing this. But I will make it very clear when it comes to you what any substantive changes we are recommending to the ordinance itself.
And this is not changing anything to do with Still Hopes. Still Hopes is still being in the same nasty code that they are in, or will be a different one?
Would not affect Silver.
I think.
Yes.
Anything else? Thank you, Mr. Short.
Thank you.
Moving down to item 6.2 is a presentation regarding Brownsfield grants. We'll hear from Ms. Catherine McCall. Thank you, Ms. Cole.
Just wanted to inform council that the city is going to pursue Brownfield assessment grants back to in November. These funds will be able to provide an inventory of brownfield sites in the city. They will help us prioritize these sites, also offer specific cleanup plans and development plans for these sites that are identified and reported.
Thank you. Anyone with any questions or comments?
I just got a comment. Thank you very much. I think it's going to be big, and I'm really glad that you pursued this and brought it our attention.
We're excited to work on it, and we'll be bringing it before council here short, as well as the public for their input as well.
Thank you so much. Anyone else?
Mrs. Call, do you have any idea of how many brownfields there are in the city?
So the EPA doesn't have a running list of, actual sites that are eligible. Those are up to the city to determine what areas we want to look at. We're doing a phase 1 grant, which is an assessment grant, and that will provide the funds to do the research to see if it qualifies as a brownfield area.
That will help to identify the areas throughout our city, and then we can look at development and cleanup opportunities.
Yes, so right now we're looking at a few sites that could potentially qualify, but nothing, has qualified yet.
And how much is the grant for?
This assessment grant is up to $500,000.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Ms. Cole. Moving down to item 7.1, second reading consideration of an ordinance to schedule an election to fill a vacancy in City Council District 3 on January 17, 2023. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Any discussion? Hearing none at this time, if you're in favor, please raise your hand.
Passed unanimously.
Moving down to item 7.2, second reading consideration of the planning commission's recommendation to establish a zoning classification of C3 restricted commercial for one parcel totaling 6.35 acres on Summer Place Drive, tax map number 004597-10-082. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none at this time, if you're in favor, please raise your hand.
Passed unanimously.
Moving down to item 7.3, second reading consideration of the planning commission's recommendation to approve the zoning of one parcel totaling 0.25 acres at 814 12th Street, tax map number 004633-03-008 from C2 general commercial to the requested C3 restricted commercial. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, if you're in favor, please raise your hand.
Passed unanimously.
I'd like to take up items 7.4 through 7.7 in one motion and vote unless there's objection. Any objection? Hearing none at this time, I would welcome the motion for second reading consideration of an ordinance to annex a total of 0.48 acres of property, tax map number 004674-01-007, also known as 2114 Sunset Boulevard, West Columbia. And a motion for second reading consideration of an ordinance to annex a total of 9.01 acres of property, tax map number 003698-01-004, also known as Hendet Drive and Freighter Drive. Tax map number 003698-01-004, West Columbia, South Carolina. And second reading consideration of an ordinance to annex a total of 2.07 acres of property, tax map number 004599-07-032, also known as 356 Orchard Drive, West Columbia, South Carolina. And second reading consideration of an ordinance to annex a total of 0.48 acres of property, tax map number 004535-05-005-005, also known as 3032 Sunset Boulevard, West Columbia, South Carolina. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, if you're in favor, please raise your hand.
Passed unanimously.
Moving down to item 8.1 under new business. Consideration of a resolution approving lease purchase financing for vehicles and equipment. We'll hear from Mr. Justin Black.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. So this is the resolution that I spoke of at the last meeting for lease purchase financing for vehicles and equipment for the city for this year. This was a budgeted item. I do have Lawrence Lynn here tonight to answer any specific questions regarding the ordinance, but he authorizes Brian, city administrator, to negotiate the agreement with the bank that wins the bid. Proposals were due today. We have received those. We got 10 today. And working through that bid calculation now with winning bank.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Any questions for Justin?
Yeah, so just a few questions. This might be for Jamie. He might be able to answer it better. The 800 roll carts, how much is each of the roll carts costing us? And is that being divided between the recycling, and the trash.
So, yeah, so in the budget, we had 400 household roll carts, 400 recycle roll carts. Until last year, we had been paying about $45 a roll cart. Last year, when we purchased roll carts, it went up about $72 a roll cart.
So this is for the 800 that's in the budget?
That's correct.
Okay. And then the roll-off containers, how many roll-off containers do we have now?
Councilman Green, I think we've got 8, so this will give us additional.
Okay, that's all right, thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing no further questions, if you're in favor, please raise your hand.
Passes unanimously.
Moving down to item 8.2, consideration to approve Carolina Tap and Board Incorporated as the lowest responsible bidder in the amount of $88,400 for the 2022 Sunset Boulevard wastewater extension project. Is there a motion? Is there a second? Any discussions or questions from Mr. Zane?
Can we just, maybe get a brief summary of what this is? This is for, I mean, I know it's for the sewer line of 378, but I mean, what are they doing? They're trying,
This is for a gravity directional bore under Highway 378, so to make a connection to the existing main.
If you remember, we identified the priority council to close the donut holes, and this will take our existing sewer from one side of 378 at Botanical Parkway over across 378 into the donut hole region where we have started annexation, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
so we're gonna tie in around Botanical Gardens then,
Yes, sir.
and go on the other side.
And we're gonna, yes, and we're gonna bring gravity sewer up or west along Sunset Boulevard. Which is on the south.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, if you're in favor, please raise your hand.
Passes unanimously.
Moving down, thank you. Moving down to item 8.3, first reading consideration of an ordinance to annex a total of 2.496 acres of property, tax map number 004597-01-031, also known as 172 McSwain Drive, West Columbia, South Carolina. Is there a motion? Is there a second? Any questions or discussions for Mr. Hunter?
I do have a question. Mr. Unbank, I noticed that 172 Between Drive, it's part of a larger donut hole. I was just wondering what the reason was for us piecing this particular parcel and then not the additional ones that were going down the hole.
Well, that's a very good question. The building, 172 McSwain, was recently sold to a new owner. And I've been talking to this owner, he's going to bring his business to West Columbia. And so, you know, with the change of ownership, we're annexing that parcel in. So I'm pretty excited about it. So that's the reason for it.
So it's a commercial.
Yes.
Okay.
I guess it's the other properties, and a lot of them vacant right now, I think, out there.
Yeah, some of them are vacant, some aren't. It's kind of, it's a sort of a small business park, and, you know, it's right behind the neighborhood.
My concern has always been with the vacant buildings that are there now. And the problem we've had with some homeless and with some other things that they start, like some of the doors have already been kicked in there. And as we reported some of them, but you reached out to some of the other owners to see if they're willing to come on into the city now, for nothing else, but it gives our police department a little more leeway. Because I have seen those same people that are trying to break in old children's care, old daycare, or they're hanging out there, and they go into that area to hide. And there's a lot of hiding places back in there. I just wondered, to me, it would be beneficial for the owners of those businesses to have them in the city where our police could respond, because I guarantee you they could respond better there than Lexington County ever is going to. So I didn't know if you reached out to others or not.
Actually, those buildings, I believe are in the city already. The property that we're talking about is further down. There's a large medical office building, and
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, well,
There, I don't think that, all those other buildings in there are not in the city, right? All of them. That's what I was talking about. A lot of those are vacant now, it seems. Or recently become vacant in the last year or two.
well, the largest, vacant building was the one.
That's a good thing.
172, so that's a good thing, that's gonna bring, a lot of people, into that area, and people in activity, kind of shoot. But I could certainly look into if it's, council's desire of annexing the other buildings in the area that, are available.
Certainly understand that we have more leverage if there's a property change and a transfer and new business coming.
Yes.
We would like to close as many donut holes as we can. Okay. So, I probably should have covered this during the announcements, but since you mentioned, property crimes and homelessness, Councilor Porter and I met with Chief Boyce this past Friday and had a fairly, good, lengthy, detailed discussion about homelessness in West Columbia and property crime, some of the issues that we've seen lately, and some of the trends that we've identified, both in West Columbia and regionally. And we're gonna, over the next month, as an initial step, work with the police department to kind of identify an overall map or a detailed listing of where we think the most needed areas are. And then look at a comprehensive plan and systematic approach to try to go in and improve that situation.
And I'll tell you, on 378, I think we've done much. In the last 6 months, we've done a great job of controlling it better than what it was. It's gotten better, but I do know once we stop, it all comes back. So it's a good plan.
Regionally, we're seeing more organized panhandling going on. Seeing more individual panhandling going on. We're seeing more and more property crime, which is likely associated with some of that activity. We also see more and more individual homelessness. I don't know if there is that easily attainable solution, but we certainly need to get to all that. Any other discussion on this?
Mayor, I forgot something too, if I may have a point of personal privilege. The Lexington County Public Transit Workshop meeting is going to be held on the 30th of this month at the Lexington Medical Center Auditorium. This is to discuss transit in Lexington County. There's some, there's constant development, there's a comment going on, but this is discussing some transit in Lexington County, what we're going to do about it.
Take this opportunity once again to thank you and Mr. Hunt for your service on the council. On our behalf. Any other discussion before we take up this matter? Hearing no further discussion, if you're in favor of item 8.2, please raise your hand. This time we'll vote for motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, if you're in favor, please raise your hand. We are adjourned. Thank you all.